Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. Hi. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining me. You know, as we look throughout human history, there's some pretty ugly chapters. And mankind just can't seem to get away from hurting and doing terrible things to himself. The good news is often throughout these dark, terrible periods, there are shining lights, people who have risen above terrible times and have exemplified the divine part of human nature. One of the periods that I'm thinking about is the Holocaust. Probably for you as it is for me, that's always sends chills up my spine. But we know that there were people who not only did not agree with what was going on, but they tackled and conquered their own fear. And they reached out and put their life on the line and helped others. One of the people that we're going to talk about today did just that, and her name is Irena Sendler. Irena Sendler was born in February 1910 in Poland, and she passed away in May of 2008. So if you do your math, which I don't do because I just read it on the Wikipedia printout, when she passed, she was 98 years old. So she had the last laugh because her life was in peril many times thanks to the Nazis. She was born to her dad and mom. Her dad was a physician, and her dad spent time helping a lot of poor, sick people. And this was in the 1910s-ish. He unfortunately passed away in 1917 because I think it was typhoid. But that's where she got this spirit to help others. And oftentimes her dad was not paid for his services. He extended himself to help many people who were sick and dying. So she was a Polish humanitarian. She was a social worker. She went to college, and she was a nurse. She helped serve in the Polish underground resistance during World War II and German-occupied Warsaw. From October 1943, she was the head of the children's section of the Polish Council to Aid Jews. There is the Polish word, and I'm not even going to try it. Thank you. So in the 1930s, and if you remember your history, that's when Hitler started ramping up. She conducted her social work as one of the activists connected to the Free Polish University. And from 1935 to October 1943, she worked for the Polish welfare department and health department. And she ended up rescuing thousands of Jewish, mostly children and babies, in a network of workers and volunteers who were largely women. And they would create false identities for these children and babies. And they would find ways of placing them in Polish families orphanages, convents, and anything that they could do to get them out of the Warsaw area. The Germans suspected her involvement in the Polish underground. In 1943, she was arrested. She was tortured. I believe it said that they broke her legs, and she was sentenced to die. Fortunately, someone bribed the German officials and she escaped. And that's why she passed away in 2008. So she had most definitely the last laugh. But we can imagine it was a pretty scary and terrible time. Now, showing the type of character, besides just that, that Irena was, after the war, she still continued helping people. She was a nurse, and in 1965, she was recognized by the state of Israel as righteous among the nations. And there's a list of her accolades, awards, citations. And she was quick to mention, though, that that is not why she did the work. She truly wanted to help people. So the way that they were able to get in to the Warsaw ghetto, there was about 400,000 Jews that were crammed into this very small area of Warsaw. And they basically were starving themselves to death. They were starving them to death. And Irena and her partner, who lady nurses, they were able to convince the Gestapo to let them go in. Typhus was a real problem. A lot of people, it was very contagious. Many, many people died from it. And apparently the Germans were terrified of how contagious this was. So they were able to convince them, hey, let us go in there. We'll work with these people. We'll keep the disease under control. And of course, a lot of them, they shipped them to the camps to work them, which they did, usually to death. But while they were in there, and this is a part that the Gestapo didn't realize, is that that's when they conducted the transferring of smuggling these babies and children out of the ghetto. And apparently there were thousands and thousands of children saved. In the meantime, they also helped bring food in, clothing, shelter, supplies, which was not what the Nazis wanted, but they weren't there for the Nazis. So at the time, especially since October 1941, this was not 1943, 1940 on, if you were caught helping Jews, they not only executed you, they killed your entire family. Yeah. So no doubt, sadly, there were a lot of people who they felt terrible about what was going on, but they had to, it was just a terrible place to emotionally to be in, where you probably wanted to help, but you're not just risking your life. I always thought about if you were a young parent and you have small children, it's like, I would like to help the resistance, but what about my kids? You know, I would sacrifice myself, but the Nazis were smart. They said, you do it, everybody dies. And they meant it. They didn't have a sense of humor. So our power word for the week is sacrifice. Sometimes you have to be willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. And Irena was willing to sacrifice her life. Apparently she wasn't married, nor did she have children at this point. She did later. But she was willing to do that to help other people. Our Train Your Brain thought, our theme is Irena Sendler, a bright light in a dark chapter. So look her up. Check the spelling. when you Google it, there's a lot of information. There's many books. I don't know if there's a movie. There's probably some documentaries about her. But there were many harrowing experiences. There's pages and pages. Wikipedia has many, many, many pages about her. So an amazing woman, and her real motive was just to help people. I wish we could see more of that, especially in our government. But we'll be the best that we can be, and we'll be bright, shining lights in our dark chapter here. So, Bob Hope in our Hey, That's Funny said, you know you've reached middle age when weightlifting consists of simply standing up. And for those of us who moan and groan and find challenge in standing up, we certainly can appreciate that. Younger folks, maybe not so much. So, my friends, enjoy your week. Remember to keep building a life, creating a life that you love, because you deserve it. And build your dreams and help others. That's what we want to do. We want to be like Irena and reach out, be willing to sacrifice. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled L-Y-N-D-I, so it's Coach Lindy, L-Y-N-D-I, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you, and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.